Yo, what's up? Welcome back to part 3 of my tutorial, where I'll walk you through Project Air Parkour. Before we get started, make sure to turn on, hold crouch, and maintain sprint. For the first part, sprint, jump, land on the edge, then curb slide to the right and jump. Then, re-sprint on the edge and repeat the process, just to the left. Make sure not to turn instantly. Instead, take your time to ensure you get a sprint input before you curb slide. Also, be sure to slide very late to reach the necessary distance. On the next jump, sprint up as shown, start pressing crouch midair, then slide and jump. Here, you'll want to sprint, jump right in front of the ramp, glide up, and jump. Since maintain sprint is turned on, you'll automatically re-sprint at the top. That's where you want to jump. This is called an overjump. For the one after, sprint, slide under, jump late, and turn around. Here, sprint, drop to the left of the fence, and jump late. On this sequence, sprint up as shown, no jumping required. On the next one, sprint, curb slide, and jump. If you can't reach the ledge, slide and jump later. Here, jump crouch into the pocket, let go of crouch, leave the pocket, and crouch jump into the next one. Then, repeat this process. On this jump, sprint up the wall diagonally as shown and turn around at the top. Pay attention to the direction the movement input is facing. Here, curb slide and jump late. On this jump, walk into the wall, then jump backwards and crouch. Pay attention to the small increment in height you get when walking into the wall. Jump off of it to reach the necessary height. Here, sprint off the platform, slide and jump, then chain slide and jump. To chain slide, you'll want to uncrouch, tap sprint, and slide. Also, make sure to give a forward input at all times. An in-depth tutorial is linked in the description. On the next jump, sprint off the platform, slide at the bottom, and chain slide on the next platform. This jump works the same as the one before. The next one is a curb slide into a chain slide ending with a jump. To do this, sprint off the platform, crouch very late, uncrouch, tap sprint, slide, and jump. Make sure to not crouch when tapping sprint as well as giving a forward input at all times. On the next one, simply sprint, jump, hold crouch, and slide at the bottom of the slope. No jumping required, just a constant forward input. Here, sprint up as shown, hit the wall, turn to the left, and crouch onto the ramp. An indicator for good execution is the height increment you get from hitting the wall with speed. No jumping required. Here, just do an overjump. On this one, sprint off the platform, slide and jump at the end turning towards the right. Simply sprint up here. On this jump, sprint up the ramp, turn around, hold crouch, slide, and jump. Make sure to give a forward input at all times. On the next one, curb slide and make a 180-degree turn before hitting the wall. Start from the far right. On this one, do an overjump and turn to the right before jumping the second time. Here, simply sprint up the ramp as shown and turn to the right as you hit the wall. On this part, sprint jump, land on the edge, curb slide to the left, and jump before hitting the obstacle. Make sure to not turn to the left until you hit the edge. And as always, maintain a forward input at all times. On this jump, sprint and slide through the gap. Right before hitting the flat part, tap sprint and crouch, then jump. It is very important to give a forward input at all times as well as hitting the sprint crouch timing correctly. Pay attention to the controller input. On this sequence, sprint off the platform as shown, slide at the bottom, and uncrouch jump right before hitting the ramp in order to glide up. If you can't reach the other ramp, either adjust the angle you're coming from or jump later. On the other ramp, tap sprint and crouch right before you reach the flat part of the ramp, then jump. Maintain a forward input at all times. On this jump, curb slide, chain slide, and jump at the wall. Make sure to slide very late and uncrouch before you chain slide. On this one, overjump and crouch into the pocket, then perform pocket jumps. Here, sprint and slide through the gap, then simply jump at the white line. This sequence starts off with 2 curb slides, followed by a chain slide. Note the precise positioning after the initial curb slide and the critical timing of button presses during the chain slide. After the chain slide, keep holding forward, tap sprint at the edge, slide at the bottom, and jump right in front of the ramp. Here, simply curb slide, jump, and turn to the left. On this jump, sprint off the platform, start holding crouch midair, slide, and jump late. Looking forward and maintaining a forward input are crucial. Pay attention to the sticks. On this part, sprint up diagonally and surf along the walls. At the slope, start holding crouch midair, slide, and jump. Make sure to maintain a forward input at all times. Here, sprint against the wall and jump to the right. Pay attention to the small height increment you get after hitting the wall and jump off of it. Then sprint, jump, crouch, slide through the gap, jump late, crouch into the pocket, jump into the next pocket, and jump up. Here, curb slide late, jump, turn to the right, and crouch through the gap. On the last sequence, sprint off the platform and start holding crouch midair. Then slide, release crouch, chain slide, uncrouch again, chain slide, and jump while slightly turning to the left. Pay attention to when crouch is being pressed and released. Then tap sprint at the small edge, curb slide late, and jump in front of the silver obstacle. If you can't reach the ledge, curb slide later and jump earlier. That was part 3. Thanks for watching.